Hello everyone, this is Miss Shitibi and I'm an English teacher for 8 years and I'm here to give you all the tips that you might need to learn English. So in the last podcast, I have discussed what do you need exactly to know before starting the learning process. And today, I'm going to help you, I'm going to show you how to start learning English in both cases, when you are learning alone or when you are learning with a teacher. So the first step that you need to do is to take a test. Choose any sites. There are plenty of free sites to tell you your level. You can pass the test. The test mainly is about the 4 skills in addition to vocabulary and grammar. Pronunciation, of course, sometimes there are some tests that include pronunciation as an aspect to know your level. I personally usually work with EFSET. It's a site. You have 2 types of tests. The first one is the 15 minutes quiz. And in this one, you only take the quiz, answer the questions. Mainly, there are 7 minutes and a half for listening, 7 minutes and a half for reading. Then you get your result. The other type is the 50 minutes quiz. In this quiz, at the end of the quiz, you're going to take a certificate that shows exactly your level and the things you can do, the things you are good at. And of course, the thing that you can't do, you need to work on them, you need to level them up. Okay, let's assume that you got levels A0, A1, A2. In this case, I would advise you to have a teacher because you are at the really, really low level of the language. And if you don't get a guide, you will get lost. You will not be able to know what to do, what to learn, what are the resources, where to learn, and so on. Even if it's only for the first level, just take a teacher. You will be able to actually know your level, know the things that you are good at, know your way of learning, your learning style, and many other things. So if you are A0, A1, A2, I prefer that you get a teacher, a guide that will help you so much. Okay, the second thing is when your level is above A2, let's say A2 is good, you can start to learn by your own. So what are you going to do? So now you know that you have, let's say, a base of the language. You know how to read, you know some tenses, you know the verbs, you have some vocabulary. You can do it alone. So the first thing you're going to do is, you know that you're not totally able to speak or to write. So you need to focus more on the receptive skills, which are reading and listening. Why? Simply because when you read, you're going to learn new vocabulary, and of course you're going to improve your pronunciation. And I really advise you to read aloud. Read aloud, never read silently, because silently you are killing the ability of pronouncing things. Maybe when you are reading silently, you think you are pronouncing the word correctly, but this is not true. This is not always true. So I really advise you that you would read aloud. This is the first thing. So reading, you start with reading small text. I would suggest a site which is called lingua.com. Lingua.com is a site where you can find texts and someone to read the text for you, of course for the premium version of the site. And next to the text, after finishing the text, you're going to find some questions, some comprehension questions. So what I advise you to do, what's the way that can be successful to achieve reading effectively? First of all, read the text. Second, reread the text for the second time. The second time, try to write down the words that you don't understand, that are difficult to understand. Then another column, write the words that are difficult to pronounce. First of all, go on Google or on Oxford, the dictionary, or any other dictionary that you are using, and try to give a meaning in English of this word. Then, of course, check the meaning in your language. Keep doing it with all the words that you didn't understand. This is one. Two, you go to the words that were difficult to pronounce. And, of course, in every dictionary we have, of course, I'm talking about electronic dictionary. I'm not talking about paper dictionary, the traditional ones. When you press on the speaker, they will pronounce the word for you. So pronounce it once, twice, and keep repeating that till you pronounce it the right way. Okay? So this is, you are reading, you learned some vocabulary, and you learned how to pronounce the difficult words to pronounce. After that, try to answer the questions. So we're going to check your comprehension. Doing this every day, there are about, I think, there are more than 242 texts in this site. So you really have the chance to improve your reading, your pronunciation, and of course you're going to learn more vocabulary. Other things to use for reading is stories for beginners. And you can even add adults, if you are an adult, of course, for adults. Why? Because we know that when you say beginners, likely the resources are going to be for children. But if you are an adult, add the word adults to the title. So stories for beginners, adults, or adults, beginners. I have actually a file, a document that has a lot of stories, and they are actually directed to adults. So after the chapter, I think there are a lot of chapters. For example, chapter 1, you have read the chapter, and they have actually highlighted the words that they think you would not understand. So simply would click on the word, and they will give you the meaning in English, of course, not in another language. Then after that, you would find a small summary of the whole chapter just to understand. And then you have the comprehension question, just to check your understanding to the story. Okay? Also, another resources to use to improve your reading is reading articles. Let's say you are a doctor. Read articles about medicine in English. Let's say you are a teacher of geography. Read articles about geography. Let's say you're just a student and you are interested in football, in sports in general. Try to read articles about this field in English. Because you just need to know what we like and what's our interest. And based on that, we can help ourselves to learn the language in an easier process. Yes. Also, lately I have discovered an app which is called Historia. Historia is an app of stories based on your level. You download the app from Play Store and you start using it. It is easy to use. You're going to pass a test. They will define your level. After that, they will provide you with some stories. The good thing about this app is that when you read the story, you're going to click all the words. All the words have definitions and have translation to your language. Of course, you're going to choose the language that you want. Either it's Arabic or maybe, I don't know, Indian or any other language. French or any other language. So in this case, you're just going to read any word that you don't understand. You click on the word, you get the definition. If you already know the word, but maybe you forgot the meaning or you're just not that much concentrated, you can say I know. You have a column when to click I know. But if it's totally new word, you can say I learned. And after finishing the story, you're going to find the list of the words that you didn't understand and you have actually learned through reading the story. And this is the good thing. Now let's say you had that much vocabulary, new words, new pronunciation, and so on. Now let's go to practice these information, this knowledge that you have gained through reading. Try to get at least 3 words, 4 words, and use them through your day. Through the whole day, try to make sentences using these words. Try to make context using these words. Like anything that comes to your mind. You can even publish something on Facebook using this word. Write something on your notebook. I don't know, anything that you want. Just practice the words. This way, simply you're going to have the words in your mind because you are using them. And this is actually the key, is that when you learn a word, you don't leave it in your mind, but actually use it. Because the more you use words, the more you know about them and never forget them. Now let's pass to listening. We have said that in order to develop yourself in English, you need to start with the receptive skills. Why? Because you're not proficient, so your level maybe is around A2, B1 till B2. So let's go to listening. Listening is a receptive skill. You're just going to receive the message by listening. So we need a base. You need to listen to something, then we'll pass to something else. First thing I would advise with is podcasts. There is something we call shadowing. For example, as a man, you are walking, you go into work. Put a podcast, in English of course, in anything you want. Maybe you want to listen to the news in English. Maybe you want to listen to 2 people discussing about history, about geography, about politics, about sports, anything that comes to your mind. You can write either on YouTube or Spotify. You're going to write podcasts about politics, podcasts about sports, about the news, and so on. Okay? The next step is to watch videos. We know that we all the time hold our phones, even if you are working. We always check our phones. So when you have that small time, even if it's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, try to go on YouTube or any other sites and watch videos in English. Okay? The third thing, is movies. Movies are really important. Why? Because we know that American movies or English movies are actually using the language of a usual context and of a casual context, not an academic one. But at least you will get the natural use of the language. What would someone say if they are angry? What would someone say when they are happy? And so on. Okay? So watching movies is going to not only help you with pronunciation and the way of speaking, fluency, and so on, but it will also help you to learn expressions and idioms that native speakers say in certain situations. Another thing, and it's songs. Songs is something that we usually listen to when we do sport, when we do the dishes, the general housework and chores. So listen to songs. Even if you think that you're not understanding exactly the lyrics, but listen to them. Because when you keep listening to them, at a moment you're going to check the lyrics. You're going to check the first song, second song, third songs. What are you going to learn? You're going to learn how to listen to songs and how singers are speeding when they sing and how are they using the language and the new words, of course, and so on. So we have reading and we have listening. You need to start with these two receptive skills, then you pass to the productive skills. Because before producing anything, writing or speaking, you need to have a base. And your base for writing is reading, because when you read, you're going to learn how to make a sentence, how to describe, how to use an adjective, how to use tenses, and so on. And you wouldn't learn that in an intentional way. No, it's going to be subconsciously. Okay, because you are reading, you are understanding the context, you are understanding the meaning. So when you are going to write, you will have some self-correctness, which is something that you feel that's not correct and you need to correct it. Okay? The same thing with listening. When we listen to podcasts, videos, movies, songs, you will be able to speak. Why? Because you already know how to speak. You have listened to people talking. That's why you will be able to speak. Of course, it's not going to be an easy path as you are thinking, but this is going to help it to make it less difficult. At the description box, I will provide you with the apps I was talking about, the sites, and some other resources. And that's it. Our podcast is over. See you next time.